Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to University. This school has obviously been everything and more to me. It's meant so much in my history, and everything that the support staff, current staff did to make this weekend special was truly one of a kind, and it's been a dream come true. So I just want to say thank you and to everybody that came out to support today. Obviously, with the stands that full, obviously there's much more than just what the ceremony was, and we're all excited about the new era of Brent Venables football here at Oklahoma, and I couldn't be more excited and thankful that this weekend was the one that we got to combine all those things together.
How cool was it?
What's it like when you see someone like Dillon Gabriel? I mean, the legacy quarterbacks that have played at the school. When you see Dillon transferred like yourself, a lot of transfers had success. What's it like to see him take the reins, and what advice would you give him?
We've talked a little bit. He's a sharp cookie. I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Obviously, he had an extreme amount of success at UCF. So I mean, he's a good player. But everything I've heard about him, and just from our little bit of talking, he's a great leader. He knows how to get the best out of his guys, and that's something that I relate to. My only words of advice are the same things I told Kyler: be yourself. And that. Don't try and be anybody else. There's no reason to. He had success at his other place, and this is a great place for him to continue on and make that next step to the next level potentially, and see where it goes from there. So just be himself. That's more than enough.
Did you have any idea that today was going to be this big relative to you?
You know, you can hear about it, that ticket sales and all that, and of all the guys coming back, but until you're actually here and in the moment and seeing some of these former players and seeing Bob, seeing Switzer, I mean, I ran into Tommy Harris and Gerald McCoy, and I mean, I could go on and on about the former players. It's so special. So until we were here and in the moment, I didn't realize what an honor this really was.
Baker, what was your favorite part of this weekend? I guess two parts. One, as part of the ceremonies around this, and two, outside of that.
I mean, the ceremony and the halftime thing, I love that we got to do it inside the stadium with, you know, the excitement of the new staff, new players, and all that. So I just think the all-encompassing family atmosphere that we're all in it together, I think was probably my favorite part of this whole thing. I mean, obviously getting to see your own statue is pretty surreal and different, but I'm thankful for that. But when it comes to outside this building, just having everybody that, not everybody, but a lot of the people that helped impact me and make that happen, it's been pretty special to have everybody there.
What's it like I hear about you and Sam Bradford, Jason White, and Kyler, kind of the new guys, the old guys, just to be a part of all of this, to be a part of something like this, and tell the words to somebody who doesn't know what that's like.
I mean, it really is special what this place has done and continues to do. The people that come in here and are able to impact it and leave their own footprint on it, and it's just when you're able to be around a bunch of guys that have been through it, and some of the greatest to ever do it, that's something that until you're in the middle of it, it's indescribable. It's pretty cool.
Like I think that picture that we had, that you did with Sam and Jason, it's really the first time you guys have been able to get together as a Heisman group. How cool was that? And as you were doing that, you know, what did you reflect on?
I mean, growing up and watching Jason, I ran into Mark Clayton as well earlier, just thinking about that era of when I really fell in love with Oklahoma football. And then after that, obviously, Sam came along, and they were so good. And just, I mean, those are guys that I idolized at that point in my life. And so to be up there and we can relate, we can talk, and it doesn't have to be about football. It's pretty special to me. It's an honor to be able to talk to those guys and just be friends.
Baker, when you look at the statue pose, can you talk about how you decided on what pose the statue was going to have, and how much did you get a kick out of everyone talking flag plan during the early parts of the process?
Yeah, I mean, we all know Joe Castiglione's going to keep it pretty appropriate, so the flag plan was never going to happen. They gave me a couple options, and I thought no better way to keep a statue in the state of Oklahoma than for it to be a stiff arm of your little brother. I mean, forever. They have to deal with that one.
Baker, with everything else that's going on, how important was this weekend for you personally to come here where people are, it's just a sea of emotion, everybody lifting you up?
Yeah, I was just talking to Toby Rowland and Dusty Voracek about that. in the process of where I'm at right now, of not knowing the next landing spot, to be able to come back just potentially a week prior to wherever I'm going to find out. It's pretty cool to come back to where this all started, and it's a good reset, being around family, friends, loved ones, to just have that home base, you know, that you always have somewhere to go back to that you can lean on. It's pretty cool.
You've made a career, basically, of being a guy who's fought back with his back against the wall. That's part of the reason you're so beloved around here. How do you draw on those experiences as you go through what you're going through right now? How will that help you going forward?
I think obviously there's a lot of ups and downs. That's just life. Everybody at the next level and throughout their careers, they hit a low point, and it's not about that low point. It's how you handle it. I've said that it's never the actual adversity or the challenge. It's what you do with it. It's how you set your mind to it. And it's a familiar. Obviously, I haven't been in the situation before specifically, but it's familiar territory when it comes to mindset and getting back to the basics and realizing what I need to do. And right now, I can control getting healthy, working, and giving everything I have to wherever my next home is.
Whenever you ride back here, what was the at what point did you kind of start thinking about, your time here at Oklahoma, and I guess kind of looking back at your career? Did you kind of have a reflection period?
To be honest with you, no. I mean, I was just trying to enjoy it until came in here and spoke to the team yesterday morning. And they played a little video. They had some stats up. And until then, and being around some of the, Coach Gundy, Beanbo, and I mean, there's so many former players on staff now and around, which is, I think that's really special of what Coach Venables is doing. So until it was really in the midst of that, I wasn't really reflecting. I was just trying to enjoy it. But it's been pretty special the last 2 days.
There was only like 30 minutes with Venables, but what were your first impressions?
I mean, I was ready to run through a wall for him. I mean, I would have loved to have played for him, and I mean, not that I had some bad coaches by any means, but he just gets you fired up. We talked for 30 minutes, and we didn't even talk about football once. And he talks about building character, building the foundation for what he's trying to build this place, and, this transition period when the conference change does happen, of being strong all in together and just developing young men and caring about them off the field, because they'll fight for them on the field when that happens.
I know you were on the outside of everything that happened after Lincoln left. Were you surprised, I don't know, by either the spirit or the, just the exuberance of the fan base that you found out when you got back here, like they've survived that?
I think it caught everybody off guard. I mean, I was in a hotel. We were about to go to a game. I was eating my pregame meal, and when I found out, I was pretty surprised. But, I mean, when you get caught off guard like that, emotions run high. I mean, obviously, I was talking to Lincoln earlier. He's somebody that, for my legacy here, was a huge part of it, and I'll never say otherwise. I think it's going to be a great transition for both schools, to be honest with you. I think change is good for Lincoln to go out there. Him and Caitlin, Sloan, Stella, I mean, they're special people to me. They're close to me. But it's good to see Coach Venables back and to see that fire. It's good to see Schmitty back. And it's just I was caught off guard, but, that guy put in some time here, and we had some good years when he was here as well. But it's time to move on, time to move forward, and I'm really excited about this next chapter of what Oklahoma football is going to be.
Was it fun for you to kind of watch Bob take over the team in the bowl game and kind of be a big part of that transition, and that he's still a big central part of this program?
Yeah, he seems extremely happy that he's not nearly as stressed anymore. But for him to be that transition period to help hold this place together when I think everybody thought the world was burning down, that's no better person than Bob Stoops to be able to do that. And that takes a special person to come in, not make it about him, but about the bowl game, the transition. He obviously has been around Brent before. And to make that as smooth as possible to where there's no bumps in the road, and we're continuing to look forward and get better. But Joe C. told me he called him and Bob was on the golf course. He goes, yeah, I can come. He goes, well, we have a team meeting in an hour. All right, I'll go change. That's just Coach Stoops for you. So no better person to do it than him.
You talked about you were, getting to talk to Coach Venables for about 30 minutes or so. You also were around the program when you were younger, going to games and stuff like that. Can you remember the first time you met Coach Venables during his first tenure?
We actually did not meet when I was younger, when he was coaching here. But we met in passing at some of the award shows and stuff while I was playing. And obviously, we all know the story of 2015 Orange Bowl against Clemson. I'll forgive him now that he's on our side, but I mean, he's authentic. He practices what he preach, and he lives it. He doesn't just say it; he lives it.
Baker, you started an incredible quarterback tradition in recent years, one after another. How proud of you are that the level of quarterbacking didn't fall off, and how do you feel it'll go going forward with a change in regime and a new quarterback?
I mean, I don't. This place has never had bad quarterbacks. There's been a ton of great ones. I mean, to be up there on stage with Jason, Sam, Kyler. I mean, this place has had a legacy of quarterbacks that it's never been about one guy, and it never will be. So, and that's the part of Dillon that I think he truly grasps. Is he's in a place where expectations are high, but he can be the best version of himself. And this place is going to skyrocket with Venables coming back, bringing that passion, and so that's only going to bring in better guys, more hungry guys, and that tradition is going to continue. We're going to continue to have players that care about the program and continue to give back to it and want to win more than anything.
Baker, when you were in Dillon's position and you first seized the reins here, did you know right away what a big deal it was in terms of responsibility and?
Well, that was, I think during that process, even the year I sat out, I learned a lot about the responsibility and just the honor it was to play quarterback here when Coach Heupel was still here. Obviously, the last guy to win a national championship for the school knew all about it, and so I learned that then. And but it just continued to. I mean, you learn something new every day. If you think you have it figured out, you're very wrong. So as I continue to be around this place, you still learn about it, and you still continue to grow from it. So Dillon's doing a great job, just being himself, taking it one day at a time and getting better. And Coach Levy's doing a great job with that as well.
It sounds like your schedule was really, really busy, but last night was something that seemed fun, if what I heard was true, that you went to multiple places throughout the evening. And can you talk about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we were kind of running around, and kind of a packed day, packed schedule. Got to meet with Coach Venables in the morning, then talk to the team, and then was running around and had a little break. Got to have lunch with family and friends before the event at 5 to 7 in the Everest Indoor. But they did it up. It was pretty cool to have all the former players in there. Went from there to having dinner with some family, and then going to have a good time with some teammates. And that's what it's all about, is getting together and enjoying that, sharing stories, and just being all together.
Baker, you can sit here now 5 years later after that Heisman season, and I think everybody likes to reflect on the guys on the team. You got to watch your Heisman speech, sitting there on the field. Mm-hmm. The guys that you played with, they're littered throughout the NFL, not just good players, but stars. I mean, you think back on that season now, is it even more incredible, just the talent level when you look at it?
Yeah, it's unbelievable to think about the guys that I was surrounded with. I mean, that's why it's an individual award, but I mean, I was pretty blessed to have those guys around me. I mean, out in the hallway, you got Kyler Murray, who's pushing me to be as competitive as I can be in the quarterback room, and then you got CeeDee Lamb and Marquise Brown. You got Mark Andrews. Those guys are pretty good. And then you talk about the guys up front. Pretty much all of them are in the NFL. So, and not even to mention the running backs. So I mean, I was surrounded by talent, but it wasn't just talent. They were great guys that wanted to win, and we pushed each other. That was the special part about it.
Because they showed all those highlights, and as you're watching those, did it bring back memories, or do you think about those every once in a while?
We shared some stories last night, but definitely there's clips and stuff that will spark little memories and good times. You think about the plays and the critical situations of games and the energy levels and what it meant to swing momentum, and it's fun. This whole process has just been a blast.
Baker, the reason you're here is just the Heisman. I want to ask you something about the night when you came back from New York. Is it true that you packed the Heisman into an Uber?
Oh yeah, Castiglione told that story last night. They were like kind of shocked that I did it, but also they were like, well, we can't convince him otherwise. We were pretty high up in the sky, and he goes, "You got a ride?" And I was like, "I think so." Yeah, I got one set up. I'm like, "No, we can take you." I was like, "No." I knew they all lived on the west side. I was over there, not too far off the railroad tracks, so it couldn't have been that far. So ordered the Uber. The guy showed up right to the airport, and I had the roller case with the Heisman statue in it, and he saw Bob Stoops, Joe Castiglione, Lincoln Riley walk out, and then I'm rolling that thing out, and he was kind of shocked. I can't blame him, but we packed that thing up in the back of his, I think, Honda Accord, as Joe Castiglione said, and yeah, the rest is history. Took it home with me. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.